What have you observed as some of the mistakes you see other comedic actors making in terms of timing, really overacting, from what you've seen?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is something that I used to do all the time. And it was if I was either auditioning or having booked the job and going in to work on a sitcom, for example, with one line, two lines, three lines, is to try to milk all the funny that I can out of those lines and try to be a funny cast member. And the truth is, the funny lines are given to the regular cast, the series regulars. They're the funny ones. We're here to support them and to be the straight man and to, just participate in the telling of that 22-minute story. And that it's not about me. It's not the Steve Tom show. It's not all about me. I'm just there to enhance the performance of the series regulars. And I think that mistake, I made that mistake constantly for a while, but somehow I was still able to book work. But eventually you just learn, and it's through repetition and through failing sometimes and making mistakes. But that's a big one. That's a big one. In fact, that's the biggest one that I can think of. Yeah. And I also think it's important for actors to know the difference between approaching a multi-camera sitcom and a single-camera sitcom, because the techniques are different. And so they should Google multi-camera and single-camera and read about those and learn the difference between the two. And that will really serve them well, I think, in the long run.
Can you share any tips on that?
Single cam versus multicam?
Yeah.
In a single camera sitcom, very tightly edited performances are more possible. And retakes are really sort of a necessity in that area. And it's sort of a much more subtle performance, I think. In a multicam situation, those sitcoms are, I would say, most of the time filmed in front of a live studio audience. And so it's a little bit of a more theatrical performance, as if you're doing a play, because you have an audience there. The timing is different. You have to wait for the laugh from the audience. And you don't necessarily do that in a single cam sitcom. So there are these subtle differences, and every actor should know the difference between those two techniques and learn them. Yeah.
So going back to what you said before that you thought was so crucial, it's almost like an extra who's overacting in a scene when you're really supposed to be in the background. So similar for some of the smaller comedic parts, let the big players be the wavy characters.
Yeah.
And you're the straight person.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's not the Steve Tom show. Yeah. And I wasn't approaching it in that way because I thought it was the Steve Tom show. I wanted to be. It was a sitcom. I wanted to be funny, and sometimes you just don't have to be. You just attach more importance to it than contextually it actually has in the teleplay.
Right.
Just be your character. You don't have to be the star of the show.